I'm joined today by Jimmy Lamb at Sawgrass Technologies. He is the education manager at Sawgrass. He's been with them for quite some time. He's been a huge wealth of information and wealth of resources for us and our customers, so definitely and always appreciate his efforts here. Today we're going to be talking about Sawgrass's brand new VJ628 wide format sublimation printer. It's a Mutoh-based unit that has been built from the ground up to work flawlessly with the Sawgrass sublimation ink system. So we're very excited about that. We're going to be talking about all the nitty-gritty details of it. And without further ado, Jimmy Lamb.
Well, thanks, Jimmy, and thank you everyone for attending and your patience as we had a delayed start here. So as Jimmy was saying, we're here to talk about the new VJ628 sublimation printer. Very exciting new addition to Sawgrass and to the selection of equipment that you have at your disposal to be able to grow your business the right way. So the VJ628 is the industry's first fully integrated 8-color 25-inch sublimation printing solution. Now, I do want to qualify that it is an 8-color system. Currently, it's available as a dual CMYK. So it's not available yet as a true 8-color ink set, but that will be coming soon. So for those of you who are looking for an 8-color system, maybe you're dealing with high-end photography, images that really do jump out at you when you're able to put together an 8-color solution, then that is something you want to keep in mind because that will be coming along. This is engineered and manufactured in Japan by Mutoh. Now, Mutoh has a fantastic reputation worldwide with industrial printing and with wide format printers. So for them to work with us to build this 25-inch unit is huge because we're really focused on quality. We want to be able to have good quality systems out there that you can depend on, and definitely this new VJ628 is built with quality in mind. So it has a lot of great things to offer you, including a 1-year limited manufacturer's warranty, which we support, and of course easy to use design and print management software. So it's a great system if you're looking to get into something a little bit larger. Now, as I was saying, it's made in Japan where quality is a focus. In fact, there's an assembly line dedicated specifically to building this particular machine. Okay, so it's built to all the specs that Mutoh and it uses to ensure the highest quality, and as well as to our specs too. They definitely truly use craftsmen to build this equipment, so it's a very impressive company. Okay, it's a very impressive company, and we're really happy to be working together with them to provide this new sublimation solution to you. Now, a lot of times it's not what you see, but what you don't see that makes all the difference. What goes on behind the scenes, inside the printer, okay? That's where a lot of things are happening. And you know, and every time that we work in developing new platforms, we're always looking at taking things to a higher level, okay? Better quality imaging, more reliability, faster speeds, all those types of things. And Mutoh has a lot of their own technology that they put into this system. Okay, they talk about intelligent interweaving printing technology, something unique to them. And you know, this is just a list you can see here on the screen of some of the different things that involves. It virtually eliminates horizontal and vertical banding. We have an increased accuracy and consistency of dot size. And you know, when we put ink out of an inkjet printer, we're putting dots, and how well you maintain those dots will determine how great your quality really is. So being able to have accurate and consistent dots is huge. You know, I know these aren't things that you look for when you're shopping for a machine, right? But understanding those things goes a long way to helping you find the right piece of equipment for delivering what it is that you come to expect in terms of quality. Brighter images with the least amount of ink. And of course, we always are engineering ink for these platforms. So, you know, we're able to work hand in hand with the manufacturer for us to build the right ink formulation for their system and for their system to work with our ink formulation. So that's huge. Okay. So a lot of good things going on with this as we've worked together to build this the right way to get us the best quality images. And that's what's so exciting about this. I mean, I've been involved with Sawgrass for several years, and just watching, I mean, we've had good quality units, but it just keeps getting better. Okay, that's pretty exciting stuff. A proven print head. I mean, the print head, having reliability there is huge. And we're talking about industrial print heads here. I know a lot of you have started out with really great printers like the Ricoh. Okay, Ricoh's a great unit, but the Ricoh is also basically an office inkjet printer. When you go into something like the VJ628, you're actually crossing into industrial technology. So you're stepping up as far as the technology goes behind the parts that are behind the scenes there. So that's a huge aspect here. You look at the photo quality resolution. I mean, if you definitely want to do high-end imaging there, with a RIP, you can get 1440 by 1440. It's huge. If you're just using our power driver, which is, part of the VJ628, we do include the power driver. It's a 720 by 1440, which is still huge, okay, in terms of resolution and print quality. We can get a 24.4-inch print width. Remember, it's a 25-inch printer. Can't quite go to the edges, but we can get 24.48 inches, 24.4 inches of print width, okay? So that's giving you maximum paper coverage. And again, it was designed exclusively for our inks in this case. Not a big unit, okay? Fits into the space the right way. I've seen some of these units in the past, other brands of equipment, where if you get a 25-inch printer, I think it was huge. It seemed like it was twice the size of the print area. I can show you a picture here of the whole machine in just a minute. Definitely fits into a compact space. There you go. Now you can take a look at and see what it looks like there on the stand. So you can see all the different features here. You have a stand, you have a take-up reel. So you're feeding a roll of paper with this. And a lot of you are used to working with sheets of paper, but here you're using a roll of paper, which means that you could actually set up a whole lot of jobs and basically hit print and just let it roll. You know what I'm saying? It's going to roll, keep printing, and it's taking up on the take-up reel instead of going across the floor. Especially if you're doing some high volume jobs. You can go ahead and print out, as much paper as you want. For example, I mean, think about it. You have a paper that you can print 24.4 inches wide, but you can get a 200-foot roll. So in theory, you could print an image 200 feet long. Of course, you'd have to have a really big heat press for that. So in all likelihood, you're not printing any images that big, but maybe you're printing a lot of images out that would actually take up a lot of space, for production. So you can see here some of the different aspects, some of the different features of this particular unit. It's compact, it's reliable, fits into small spaces pretty well, and it's very well built. By the way, it does have a built-in sheet cutter too, so keep that in mind that when you're working with roll paper, you can set it to cut where you need it to. Now, we put together Sublimation HD for this particular unit, HD being high definition. And you can see that we have a really nice gamut here, up to 548,000 colors. That's huge, okay? Very rich blacks and neutral grays. I mean, I think every new generation of our sublimation inks, we keep improving things like blacks, true blacks. That's why we have a black ink cartridge. You can create black by combining different percentages of cyan, magenta, and yellow, but to really get a true black, you want to go with a black ink cartridge. That's going to give you the best that you possibly can. 220 milliliter carts are the standard for this. And I know people sometimes they're looking for refillable systems. I mean, that comes up, but really a sealed cartridge is the best way to go. We've seen many instances where people are trying to refill their own cartridge so they get contaminants in the ink. It affects the quality. When you have a sealed cartridge, you don't have to worry about that, okay? You're able to just plug it in and go with it. You don't have to worry if some type of particulate got into there or unnecessary air or whatnot for improper filling. So the ink set has been designed, again, with the VJ628 in mind. Now, I mentioned software. I mentioned our power driver. A lot of people use our power driver. Not everyone does, especially when people go into industrial printers. A lot of people will go into using a RIP, and we do have color profiles for both ErgoSoft and Wasage. Okay, so if you're going to be using a RIP, that's fine. We do have some color profiles already there for you. If you want to use our power driver, version 4.2 is going to have the color sure palette for this particular unit. So if you've used power driver, you understand what color palettes are for spot color matching and those types of things. If you've not used it before, it is provided at no charge with our different products. You simply download it and install it. We have instructions on how to do that and how to use it there online. Also, Creative Studio, which is our new online design product, will be available for this particular printer as well. It's not right this minute, but it will be. Okay, so we'll be expanding that to it. And Creative Studio is really a great product. A lot of interest in that, and it's gone and made it easier for people that don't really need to work at the CorelDRAW or Photoshop or Illustrator level. It's made it easier for you to get in and actually create images and then be able to print them out onto a wide variety of substrates using your particular printer setup. Now, how does the VJ628 compare to other printers? You know, if you take a look at, for example, an Epson 24-inch printer and using the Wasatch RIP, the VJ628 is 25% more efficient with ink usage, and that's significant, 25%. It's about 3% faster, so it's not super fast, but a little bit faster, but definitely less ink usage. If you're doing it with power driver, it's about 8% faster, and it's about the same ink usage. So depending on which type of management system you're using there, it can have an effect on just how well things are maintained. As I mentioned before, it does come with a 1-year limited printer solution warranty, and that's parts and labor and ink delivery systems. Now, you may not have ever used our support, and then again, maybe you have, but we're there, okay? That's what we're there for. So our support centers, you can reach through phone or through email. We also have extensive support online. We try to give you as many resources as possible. If you're like me and you need support, you know, my preference is to go online and get what I need, you know, and do it that way. But if you need to call in, we have some really great people working the call centers, and they're very knowledgeable on the equipment, so they're there to help you out. In many cases, they can actually do a link up with your computer and take a look at the settings and stuff you're using in color management as applicable to see what's, you know, happening with your system. So definitely you can count on that. Now, who needs a Sawgrass VJ628? Everyone, of course, right? But really, it's one of these things that where are you with your business? Maybe you're in business, maybe you're starting a business. This is something that has a couple of things to consider. I mean, the first, of course, is larger print size. I mean, that's a defining characteristic of any printer. What's the largest print that you can produce with that printer? If you need a 25-inch print and all you can do is 13 by 19, then that printer is not big enough. Okay, so the very first consideration, of course, is larger print size. Then you can start looking at things like productivity. You know, when you're using roll paper, you're able to do high volume orders and really, you know, pump out a whole lot of images, you know, at one time. So that's a huge aspect. Every new generation, take a look at things like higher print resolutions. You know, if you're really going into pro photo, then things like higher print resolutions, things like 8-color systems, all those are very important for you. So, for example, if you're using solutions like the Epson 7800 or 7890, this may be one that you definitely want to consider. Or maybe one of the T3000 series. Again, might be something. Way back to the 4800, 4880, definitely a step up for you because the technology in this is a lot higher in level than it was for the 4800. I mean, the 4800 is a fairly old printer. So there's been several new generations of technology development since that. So that's just some things to think about if you're going to be going into larger. So let's talk a little bit about making money with a VJ628. You know, the power of 24-inch printing. What can you do with 24 inches? You can do a lot of stuff. In my image here, I tried to show you two different aspects. Number one, we got a 24-inch printing. Well, it's 24.4, excuse me. Okay, a 24.4-inch printing. We cannot really do all over, but we can do close to all over printing on apparel. Now, if it's children's, you know, apparel, certainly you could. But you can see that we can do large-scale imaging on apparel, depending on which way you orientate the paper. If you start looking at production, you start looking at how many pieces can I get out of one run. Now, you know, in one respect, you will definitely have to have a larger heat press because you have a larger area to deal with. You can do sets of, like, say, iPhone covers where you can do one run which would equate to the size of your heat press, and then you can trim it, and then you can go and press all those at once. You could do a long extended run and come back and cut the paper later as you need to fit the printer. So there's a couple of different ways, but the two things here that come to mind with a particular printer are higher in production, okay, higher volume production, and larger imaging. Okay, everybody has sort of a different need here. You know, some of your target markets, for example, sign shops. Sign shops, you know, we can do some decent indoor signage with desktop printers, but we can't get them so large. So now you're able to open the doors to being able to do some banners, some larger types of signage, you know, that type of thing, whiteboards and whatnot. Definitely the Pro Photo Labs and fine art printers, because you do have something that puts out high def quality sublimation. So you're getting that type of degree of detail and color clarity that these type of people need, okay? And a lot of them do want larger items. So again, we're looking at the large size, and we're also looking at the higher resolutions and the color clarity that come with the new HD ink. If you're working with high volume decoration, then you talk about things like personalized and photo gifts. And a lot of times those are more like onesies and twosies, but you know, there are people that deliver onesies and twosies in high volume. In other words, you have a lot of jobs coming in, and you can mass produce that with a larger printer, okay? Even if every one of them has a different image, you can print out a whole lot and press a whole lot at the same time. Definitely with promotional products, because promotional products tend to run more, not onesies and twosies, but more high volume of the same image over and over again. If you're working with the garment industry, then you're talking about that larger area size gives you the ability to put larger logos onto different things, okay? So that can help you a lot in that way. If you can do something like socks, for example, it works out pretty well. You know, a sock doesn't seem really big until you actually get ready to sublimate a sock. You find out, because of the shape of it and the layout, that it actually takes up a lot of paper. Okay, but you can actually stagger socks very interestingly on these larger printers like this, where you can really maximize your paper usage and your printing output. So let's talk about large size printing for a few minutes, because that's a big aspect here. So with large size, you know, a good, you know, focus is the photography and fine art, because when you think about what these people do, a lot of them are doing the photo panels, the big metal glass panels, gallery wraps, tapestries. So there's a lot of neat things that you can offer because you have that expanded size that you can do with this printer. So for large size printing, it goes hand in hand with some of the different products of photography and fine art markets are requiring. If you look into the awards, you'll be looking more like high volume. Okay, so you see where, again, awards doesn't need big stuff. It needs lots of stuff. So if you're going to work with the awards market, you're probably doing more of the high volume aspect than the larger size. So you see the versatility here. Same thing with personalized gifts. Again, you wouldn't think about a larger printer for personalized gifts unless you are doing some fulfillment work. If you're doing fulfillment work of personalized gifts, then it makes sense that you're able to print out a whole lot at the same time and then go press a whole lot at the same time. Same thing with the education marketplace. So see, this printer fits in where everything else does. It just gives you new capabilities as you go into some of these markets. You know, this is a market that has smaller sized items, but they may be doing it more of in a mass production, because you're doing things like the same school mascot over and over and over again. Back to large size printing, things like furnishings and decor. You know, a lot of neat things are happening there, where you're working with tapestries and pillows and blankets, and tabletops is one of the hot things out there. If you've been to our booth and some of the shows, you may have seen the tabletops that are sublimated, and that is another great application of what you can do with this particular unit. And then, of course, hard surface goods. Lots of different hard surface goods. You've really got to move into that larger scale printing to be able to work with some of those. There we go. My computer was getting very slow there for a moment. Large size printing again for the interior signage, okay? Interior signage goes way beyond some of the small stuff you may have been doing. Then the promotional products, again, it's a high volume. So it's kind of a back and forth, high volume, large size, high volume, large size that you can do with this particular printer. Okay, just to kind of wrap it up, the HD product decorating system here with the 628. We have the printer. We have the new Sublijet HD ink. We have Power Driver available. Creative Studio will be coming along. We will be having an 8-color solution. Right now it's just a dual 4K, excuse me, a dual 4-color CMYK. Okay. We have our Partner Plus that we offer, which is our warranty, program management, and our color management support. We also have Business Builder, which is free sales and marketing resources. And of course, all our different webinars, seminars, and guides focusing on target markets to help you grow your business. Okay, so that's a quick overview of the VJ628. And it's an exciting new product. Gives you a lot of great new opportunities to grow your business, and we're really pleased to present this to you, and we hope that you picked up a little bit of good useful information here, and you can certainly get more information from contacting Heat Press Nation directly. You can contact me directly, and of course you can ask questions now as well.
Jimmy, that was a wealth of knowledge, and very much appreciate the time that you spent with us today and kind of educating us about these new products. We'll be getting a number of these in stock in the next week to week and a half. So definitely encourage those that have attended to give us a call with any questions that you may have to kind of build your product knowledge and make sure that you're making the right purchase decision. Again, for those that weren't able to attend or for those that came in a little bit late, we'll definitely be sending a newsletter with the video recording. But definitely appreciate everyone's time today and taking time out of their day to build their knowledge base in all things sublimation.